What are you looking for in a relationship? What do you think is enough minimum annual income for you to have a family with? What buffers do you think are best to keep a relationship together in today's society to combat hypergamy?
I think
that's a lot. Before you answer, that's a lot of questions there. We typically like to limit it to just one question per chat. So
I can keep it under 10.
Try to keep it brief if you can. If you want to try to hit everything.
Yeah. So what I'm really looking for in a relationship is a leader and somebody who is a superior to me in a lot of ways, because I've been the opposite, where I am leading either like physically, like financially, or intellectually in the relationships.
How do you lead physically?
By actually
talking about like initiating sex.
Yeah, that's one of the things for sure, and I've definitely been in that situation. However, I would say that for me, it's like when you have those traits, when you are someone who can lead in those respects, then naturally that's going to obviously show in your income and in your career. So it's not necessarily the income that I'm going for, but those proclivities and the ability to be able to display those characteristics, those leadership characteristics, to be able to be somebody who can support a family. Naturally, you're going to want someone who's a multiple six-figure earner. So I would say that because I make that, and I want someone who makes more than me, right? So that is.
Did you say naturally? Naturally,
naturally, yeah, because naturally, somebody who is a leader, somebody who is able to exemplify those characteristics will naturally find a way to transpire that to their career, because they're going to have some type of skill set that they can monetize. Otherwise, what skill set do they really have? I mean, sure, there are some skill sets that you cannot monetize, but generally speaking, I mean, I think if you're looking for somebody who has those character like traits that we're talking about here, they're going to be able to make money off of it, right?
Yes.
Agreed.
A leader is never broke. A good leader.
Do you guys, you're currently seeing somebody, you're currently dating 7 people. You're properly single.
I'm a hermit. Yeah.
But you guys, I mean, I know that a lot of girls who do OnlyFans are typically, well, not typically, but it sounds to me like you guys are high earners yourselves. Do you make more than your boyfriend?
We're like about even.
Okay.
I guess right now I make a little more.
Isn't he on strike right now?
He's like, yeah, like right now, like I make a little more, but that doesn't matter.
Okay. Do you guys want somebody that makes more than you? Or how about as much or more than you?
It would be nice. I feel like lately I've always felt like I wanted someone to make more than me, but I've gotten into relationships where it was a bit of like a weird power dynamic, and the men that tended to make more than me, they were just a bit more like, I'm sure it's just the ones that I came in contact with, but just a bit more like arrogant and controlling. But then there's the men that make less and they're insecure, and it's just like, I don't know. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I just want somebody that's like good to me. It doesn't really matter like what they make. I mean, as long as I'm not taking care of them. But
yeah, my last ex, or I guess like during the pandemic, we met when we were both working in tech. We were both programmers, but during the pandemic we both quit because the company was only fun when there was like a whole campus, like it's like there's a meditation room, there's infinite alcohol, there's all these outings. So when the pandemic hit, coding was a miserable job. So we both quit, and he never got another job. So the whole time I had to pay for everything, like housing costs, food, and all of that, and I did not have a good time. Where
this was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
How long was the relationship?
So I would say like around 2. We never made it official. We just kind of like started hanging out more. Yeah, so like around 2 years. Yeah.
Sorry, you never made it official and you were paying all of his expenses?
Yeah, so we started hanging out more and more because we would like carpool, and like, so when we were co-workers, we just kind of got closer and closer, and it was never official, like, will you be my girlfriend? It was just like, we just...
Surely there was some mutual understanding that you guys were exclusive, right?
Yeah, because I wasn't really like seeing anyone.
You just never said it out loud, but that doesn't necessarily indicate that you guys weren't in a relationship there, right?
Yeah, it was like situationship, but I was taking care of him because he was like, oh, we have nowhere else to go.
Well, I feel like as a woman, especially if you're taking care of a man's stuff, you assume he's exclusive to you. Like, can any of you ladies imagine being in a situation like that and you find out he's fucking around on the side? Like,
Oh, hell no. Yeah, so it was like an exclusive arrangement, kind of. And
Wait,
but
so what you're saying, Amy, is that if women really want to get commitment from men, they gotta start being the breadwinners? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's like literally not what I'm saying at all. I was just trying to point.
That's
light.
a good
No,
question.
Absolutely
good
not.
question.
No, I actually think it's the exact opposite, because I think that when you go for that dynamic, it automatically, you are conflicting with so many factors in evolutionary psychology and just the way people are in general. There's already going to be so much friction in the relationship. So actually, I think quite the opposite. I was just trying to prod a little bit deeper to really get your perspective on it, because I'm not sure I quite fully understand what the dynamic was.
Let me just jump in
Yeah.
really quick. Perhaps I should reframe it a little bit. So do you think that's a fair trade-off in order to, because a lot of women complain that men aren't prepared to commit to them. Do you think that'd be a fair trade-off for women? The women have to be the providers. They have to be the breadwinners. They have to take care of expenses.
Not
In exchange, they get commitment.
That just
Not
sounds like a
necessarily,
bedrock
it's such
for
an inverse of values, right? Because naturally the man is the
Could work.
provider, he is the protector, right? And then by default you have a woman who submits to him. So what I'm saying is, if the standard was reversed, which I do not necessarily think that it should be, I disagree. I don't think that it should be, but if it were to be reversed, then wouldn't the man have to naturally submit? Otherwise, what's the point of the inversion of it?
yeah, I think men don't naturally submit, and that's the issue. Like, if he were to cook, clean, and like me buy him a gym membership, work out, whatever, I'll be totally fine with it. But he didn't cook, he didn't clean, he didn't really do much, and he was like kind of resentful towards like all the social media stuff I was doing, even though I was also going to grad school, and it was just like very chaotic because he was insecure. I think he naturally wanted to be a leader, but he couldn't at the time because of the pandemic.
But even
I
if a
think-
woman is the breadwinner, it's not clear to me if women want men to be submissive, even if you out-earn the man.
Well, I
I feel like
think
a
wait,
woman
wait,
who's
wait.
willing to be, sorry, Pixie, 1 second. I
Okay.
feel like a woman who's willing to be in that type of a relationship.
Ryan
Hold on,
underscore
just a sec.
OG donated 100.